Game number 36 for the Boston Celtics, coming off of back-to-back losses, and will look to turn it around with a win against the Bulls at TD Garden. Welcome back to the Celtics pregame report. Josue Pavone here, our last report before Christmas. And joining me to preview this matchup is Jason Patt of FanRagSports.com. Always a great conversation between Jason and I. Welcome back, Jason.
Thanks for having me back on again.
It was an impressive 7-game winning streak, to say the least, for the Bulls. Nearly reached 8 against the Cavaliers Thursday night. I mean, throughout this stretch, the Bulls defeated teams like the Celtics, the Utah Jazz, the Philadelphia 76ers, the Milwaukee Bucks, to name a few. How had the Bulls, or I should say, how did the Bulls manage to pull this off, Jason? And who are some of the players that impressed you the most throughout that stretch?
Yeah, they just completely turned things around. They started 3-20. They were awful. They had a bunch of terrible losses. Then Nikola Mirotic came back from getting punched in the face by Bobby Portis, and now all of a sudden the Bulls are killing it offensively. They've been playing really well defensively. They've been playing insane in fourth quarters. I was looking up the other night, they're shooting an insane percentage in the fourth quarter, like 56%, dominant in the clutch on both ends defensively as well. I mentioned Mirotic coming back. He's shooting over 50% on the season. He's almost 50% from three. He's playing with a lot more confidence than he has almost in his entire NBA career. Bulls fans have been waiting for him to be playing like this on a consistent level. We'll see if he can still do it for the rest of the year, or maybe if the Bulls end up looking to trade him and get value for him that he's playing well. But he looks like a completely different player. Chris Dunn, who the Bulls got in the Jimmy Butler trade from the Minnesota Timberwolves, he's been really good. He was really bad last year as a rookie. He got hurt to start this year, struggled to start the year with the shooting, but he's really coming around, doing a lot, attacking the basket. I believe he had 14 assists the other night last night against the Cavs. He's been shooting better. He's been hitting shots in the clutch, and defensively he's been a menace. He seems like 2 or 3 steals every night. Just really good at pressuring the ball. And then a lot of other guys are doing well. Lauri Markkanen's been hurt, but he had a really nice game against the Cavs. David Nwaba is providing energy off the bench. Justin Holiday's been playing a little bit better. Bobby Portis, I mentioned him, who punched Mirotic in the face. He's been great. So basically, just like up and down the lineup, the Bulls have just almost turned things around as an entire team. It's been kind of crazy to watch.
Yeah, we talked about Chris Dunn the last time we had this conversation, and we talked about how, he showed really close to nothing in Minnesota, has turned things around ever since heading to Chicago. And around these parts, I mean, Providence fans, they certainly know all about Chris Dunn, and they're seeing, or I should say the rest of the league is now seeing what a lot of those Providence fans were seeing in college. But let's focus back on Mirotic. What's the word between him and Portis? Has that relationship been mended? Have you heard anything from how they're doing in the locker room?
Don't talk that much or whatever, do that much together, whatever, off the floor, outside the locker room, but they're playing great together on the court, and I guess that's really all that matters. If they're doing well on the court, they don't have to be friends off the court or be talking all the time and chumming around, and they've been really good when they've played together. The pairing together, they're both big guys who can step out and stretch the floor, and that can make it hard to decide if they both have it going well. And they've had a couple games together where they've had double-doubles, they've had 20-point games. So as long as they're playing well together on the court, then I guess that's really all that matters.
You spoke about Mirotic and how well he's been shooting. I mean, he's got a $12 million player option on the table this summer. Is this a guy you see the Bulls committing to long-term?
That's a tough question, because a lot of people thought, okay, maybe he's playing well right now. I mentioned this earlier. They might just try to build his trade value to get a draft. Maybe try to trade him for a draft pick, because right now he is a power forward. Lauri Markkanen, they've been starting him at power forward, so I don't know if they want to go forward with both those guys. On the other hand, they've been playing Markkanen and Mirotic together more. I don't know if maybe they look to do a long-term future with that as a front court pairing. There are some questions with that, how that'll hold up defensively and rebounding, but both guys are a little better defensively than I think they're probably getting credit for. So, I don't know. I think it's kind of a toss-up. It's one of the more difficult decisions Bulls don't often have to make. If they want to move forward with Nico and Markkanen as 2 key pieces of their front court, even Portis as well, or if they want to try to move Mirotic and just completely go with Markkanen and maybe try to get another long-term center, whether it's in the draft or whether they keep Robin Lopez, even though I think they'll end up trading Lopez this year.
This edition of the Celtics pregame report is brought to you by DraftKings.com. Head to DraftKings.com and use the promo code CLNS for a free sign-up with your first deposit and a shot at a share of $10,000 in total prizes. That's DraftKings.com. Use the promo code CLNS and get yourself paid. Jason, with the Chicago's confidence at a very high peak heading into Boston, what is it going to take for them to knock off the Celtics tonight?
It's kind of doing a lot of stuff what they've been doing. It's like, especially offensively. Before the streak, the Bulls had, I guess, both ends of the floor. The Bulls were one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the league, on both ends. And they have really stepped it up lately. Obviously, the last time these two teams played, the Celtics were on the second of a back-to-back, and they didn't have Kyrie, and they just didn't really have it. The Bulls blew them out. I would assume that's not going to happen again. Games in Boston, the Celtics, they're due for a good game. The Bulls are kind of due for a clunker. They've been playing so well lately. I've been waiting for them to fall apart. So part of me thinks that it wouldn't be a surprise if the Celtics come out and blow the Bulls out. But then again, the Bulls just would keep playing so well. They got to keep executing. They got to keep pushing pace. They have to slow down Kyrie and slow down that offense. But if the Bulls can keep executing offensively and score against the Celtics defense, which has not been playing well lately, and if they can keep the game close. They've been playing so well in close games lately and scoring so well in the fourth quarter. They could have a chance to pull another upset.
Give me a prediction, man. Who wins tonight?
I know I picked the Celtics last time. I'm going to stick with the Celtics again, but I do think that the game will end up being close. Like I said, I wouldn't be totally surprised if it's a blowout, but I'm going to go with another close game. But the Celtics, like I said, they're due. They've lost 2 in a row. They haven't been playing that well lately. But back on their home floor, they'll be motivated to play really well, and I think they'll end up pulling out this win. But the Bulls will keep it close, I think.
This is your way of jinxing it, isn't it, Joe?
Yeah.
All right, we'll see what happens. He is Jason Patt of FanRagSports.com. You can check out his content, of course, on FanRagSports.com. You also give him a follow on Twitter at Bulls_J. Jason, I'll talk to you again soon, man. Thanks for coming through.
Yep, absolutely, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, too.
Yep, thanks.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Celtics pregame report. Make sure you check out the Garden Report right after the game, where CLNS Media, of course, has you covered like they do at every single home game, with all the exclusive interviews from inside the locker room and Brad Stevens at the press table. Weekday shows air on the Celtics Newsfeed channel, on iTunes, Stitcher, and the CLNS Media mobile app. For today's Boston Celtics pregame report with Josue Pavone, this is Josue Pavone signing off. Merry Christmas, everyone.